Full of colors in Spanish Fork.
And how it's discriminatory.
BYU is making changes to the way it issues ID cards. Welcome to Universe Live. I'm Amy Griffin.
And I'm Emily Jones. Every student on BYU campus has been to the ID Center, but with some recent and potential future changes, that might not always be the case.
Universe Live reporter Harley Hunsaker gets a closer look at the place that makes the ID cards, their recent changes, and their connection to the Honor Code office. Harley?
Brigham Young University is filled with centers, departments, and employees that all work together to make sure that everything functions properly. But one center in particular may be overlooked but plays an important role not only on campus, but with the Honor Code. That center is the ID Center. The first stop every incoming freshman makes on campus is the BYU ID Center. BYU requires each student to own an ID card for functions like door access and Cougar Cash. But the ID Center is making some big changes to the way they issue cards.
That is a super exciting change that we initiated right before COVID hit, interestingly.
Elaine Lorazin is the managing director for HR and support in the Office of IT, so she works directly with the ID Center.
We wanted to try and shorten the amount of time people were spending getting their ID card.
So, instead of getting your photo taken in the center,
how does that look?
You can submit your photo through the ID Center website. But your photo still has to abide by the dress and grooming standards as outlined in the Honor Code.
Sometimes with like clothing or piercings or hair, it can be a little more personal and sensitive.
The dress and grooming standards are found under BYU's policies, and BYU's Honor Code requires students to follow them.
We are one of the only centers that enforce the dress and grooming standards, so that can be difficult just because students aren't reminded of it very often.
And for Aros and Orndorff as employees, it's their job to approve or deny photos sent in if they do not meet BYU's dress and grooming standards.
In order to take your photo, you do have to be clean shaven.
Once your photo is approved online, you still have to come into the center to print it and activate it. Aros says they have to deny about 5 to 10 ID photos a week due to a student not following the dress and grooming standards. So if it's time to renew your ID photo, review the standards and then submit your photo online. I'm Harley Hunsaker reporting for Universe Live, Provo.
Thank you, Harley. The BYU ID Center is hoping to make all ID cards digital sometime in the near future.
BYU knows about this student's skin condition, but in order to renew his beard waiver, he has to do this to his beard all over again.
A BYU student with a painful skin condition is pushing for BYU to change its beard exemption policy.
My name's Ethan Walker.
Ethan recently tweeted about his experience with BYU's beard exemption policy. Why BYU forces me to give myself hundreds of ingrown hairs to prove to them that I have a self-diagnosable skin condition, even though they already recognized it last year, is beyond me.
And so it seems kind of obnoxious to make me do that.
Ethan has a skin condition that is more common among black men.
Black people experience razor bumps at a disproportionately high rate.
Ethan claims that the beard policy is unintentionally discriminatory.
This policy was made before there were black students at BYU.
BYU's response? An emailed statement. The dress and grooming standards continue to state that beards are not acceptable because that is how BYU has chosen to represent itself.
And I don't disagree with like a lot of the material of this, right? But like, what are those predicated on?
BYU started the beard policy in response to cultural associations of beards in the 60s. A BYU graduate that also had a beard exemption thinks,
"It's just ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous."
A bearded BYU student asks why.
Like, if it's such a small thing, why do they care about it so much?
Other BYU students told Ethan that he agreed to the policy, so he can't complain about it. His response?
You can drive a car and not like how it shifts.
Ethan's hoping that BYU's new Office of Belonging will notice the racial disparity and push for change. Reporting for Universe Live, I'm Joe Belknap, and I'm almost finished.
Looking good, Joe. Thanks. Jazz superstar Donovan Mitchell made an appearance this weekend at the BYU football game. Donovan spent the game on the sidelines, much to the applause of Cougar fans. Mitchell wasn't the only Jazz player to attend the game either. Teammates Jared Butler, Hassan Whiteside, Eric Pascal, and others were also there to support the Cougars. Donovan and his friends watched the Cougars stroll to a 35-27 victory on Saturday. BYU's next game is against in-state rivals Utah State on Friday night.
For the first time since the pandemic, people gathered at the Sri Sri Radha Krishna Temple for the annual Holi Festival. Universe Live reporter Carly Wasserline went to the Festival of Colors to see how things have changed since the pandemic. Carly?
Usually the best place to find fall colors in September is up the canyon, but because of the Holi Festival, the best fall colors this weekend are here in Spanish Fork.
3, 2, 1.
The Holi Festival has been celebrated in India since the 4th century. It marks the beginning of spring and represents the triumph of good over evil by celebrating the Hindu god Krishna. The festival usually occurs around March, but this year the festival was postponed due to the pandemic.
What is auspicious and what is beautiful can be done any time of the year. So it's not like you can only do it on this year, at this particular moment or this particular day.
People from all around the state come to the annual festival. The purpose of the festival is to teach people about Hinduism, to celebrate life, and to spread joy.
Yeah, it makes you happy. And when it gives you the happy feeling, you just start all like getting a lot of pressure, and then you just slowly just let it out. It's like that thing where you go you throw all the colors up in the air.
But not everyone who attended the festival was there to celebrate. A few Protestants from local churches gathered outside the event to share their message of warning with attendees. They say the festival promotes the worship of false idols.
You know, I think there's a lot of people that come to this that are probably LDS and maybe don't realize that this is a worship festival to a false god.
For most people, the festival means a lot of color, a lot of food, and a lot of fun.
The festival happens annually, so if you want to get involved or just participate, you can find out more information on the temple website. I'm Carly Wasserline, reporting for the Universe Live.
Thanks, Carly. BYU's Midnight Madness Sports Marathon was a home run. We'll show you why students were up burning the midnight oil and tell you which event on wheels was their favorite.
And we have some cooler temperatures coming our way that might even bring some rain. I'll tell you how to stay ahead of the game.
Yeah, you can be the greatest, you can be the best, you can be the King Kong banging on your chest, you can beat the world, you can beat the war, you could talk to God, go banging on his door, you can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock, you can move a mountain, you can break rocks, you can be a master, don't wait for luck, dedicate yourself and you can find yourself. Stand in the Hall of Fame. Be teachers, be politicians, be preachers. Yeah, yeah. Be believers, be leaders, be astronauts, be champions. Standing in the Hall of Fame.
Sports and physical activity are the spirit and culture of BYU.
Universe Live reporter Elizabeth Bejar is on campus to tell us about an event that tested BYU students' physical capacities.
BYU encourages students to stay healthy and fit. The BYU Student Service Association and the BYU Wellness host an event where students can binge on without guilt.
BYU Midnight Madness is a marathon of different sports and physical activities that go from 10 p.m. until midnight. The purpose of this event is to show students all the sport facilities BYU has and encourage the students to use them and socialize.
I love being a part of not just Midnight Madness, but also student wellness, because you get to see the best side of students, getting together, having fun, and just making friends.
The event is held at the beginning of each school year, late on a Friday night during the building's after hours. This creates a party atmosphere. Because of COVID, this is the first time the event has occurred in 2 years. One of the attractions that caught the most attention was the wheelchair basketball tournament that challenged regular basketball players.
So it is super fun. I couldn't play basketball before, but after this, I know how to play basketball now. Hey!
Another of the favorites was the rock climbing, where BYU students challenged gravity.
So tonight was great. It was a really awesome experience. Get to do some fun activities, climb the wall, got to meet a lot of cool people. It's great to have these social events, and it was awesome.
Students who didn't make it to this event this semester will have a night opportunity because BYU Midnight Madness is coming back next fall. Reporting for Universe Live in Provo, I'm Lisa Bader.
Thanks, Lizette.
A local 4th grader from West Ridge Elementary in Provo is making changes with a lemonade stand and a bake sale. Emmy Kim is raising money and donating books that represent a wide range of cultures to Franklin Elementary in Provo. Emmy wasn't seeing herself in the media she has access to. Because of that, she wants to help kids realize that they are all more alike than they think. The goal was to raise $150 because that could buy 15 books. By the end of the day, the project raised more than $750.
Take a look at what is happening in Park City. You are looking at Crescent Ridge, and that golden yellow color is really starting to show now compared to last week. And I don't know about you, but I feel like it has just popped out of nowhere. And you know what that means. This feels like colder temperatures are coming our way. Fall-like temperatures are here. For our radar, wanting to see what's happening today and into the rest of today, we had those cold mornings, but then this red and orange are taking over. High 80s into the slight 90s today, but that won't last very long. Tomorrow is when a hard cold front is being pushed in. Bring out your hoodies, bring out your sweaters. We're having colder temperatures, much like what we see in late October, as well as some frost, a hard freeze, protect your vegetation, and then of course rain is coming as well. Let's take a look at what's happening today for our temperatures. For Logan, high of 85, low of 50. We're pretty much all in the same ballpark. Provo, high of 87, low of 58. And as we get down to St. George, you have a high of 85, low of 65. St. George, you're usually way ahead of us, but today we're all pretty much in the high 80s as well. But let's take a look at what's happening in southern Utah for the upcoming week. Tuesday, we'll see the sun, but we'll also see some smoke coming through as well. Wednesday is when the rain will hit. 79 degrees is going to be your coldest day. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, it will get warmer. However, look at night, we're staying in the high 50s into the 60s. And then for our northern Utah for the week, the rain will hit Tuesday and Wednesday, being the coldest days on that Wednesday, and then into that Saturday as well in the 70s. You guys, I don't know, bring an umbrella. That's what I'm doing this week. But it has been, I just can't believe it because because summer has came, it's gone now, and now it's fall. What are you guys gonna do?
Well, personally, I'm excited for bonfires and roasting s'mores, so in my head, I'm going hallelujah. A service dog is rescued after 5 days alone in the woods.
Last Monday, Culver and his brother called for help when the weather got bad during their backpacking trip in Grand County. Relief quickly turned to panic as their service dog Stella got scared and ran away as soon as the search and rescue team got to them. Volunteers with search and rescue went back to the campground Saturday, hiking 14 miles to find Stella. Culver is relieved and grateful as he now has a second chance to hold his dog. Thank you for joining us today for the Universe Live. For more information on our stories or to share it with your friends, visit our website at universe.byu.edu.
Have a great day.
So adorable. We're done.